Here we go. Okay. Hello, folks. Before we get into this highlight video this is the 2-mile location highlight video. I'm going to first put up the finds and a little bit of video clips that I had off of mine and Sam's trip in and back. There was a whole lot going on. There was a whole lot of possibilities, right? There was many, and I'm just going to share with you guys what I thought were the clearest and most obvious of what I found in the footage. And then we will go into the trail cam footage. There were 2 or 3 lightning and thunderstorms while I had the camera out there. And of course, the lightning and the trees and the wind set off my trail cam probably about 30-40 times just within a couple days. So there was no noise, there was nothing on camera but trees moving, right? If I find anything interesting in there, you never know. There was, through the storm, I did capture a couple of elk running through the camera, through the footage, off in the distance. And I'm pretty sure it was the trees moving that triggered the camera, but it picked up the elk off in the distance, right? So there might be something in them. I will go over those later and see if there's anything in there worth sharing. But for now, I'm just gonna pick the top 4. It's pretty amazing. And I just wanna mention, when we get to the moose and the cow moose and her calf, I only capture them once in the trail cam footage, but you need to listen. You're gonna hear a growl, kind of like a grunt growl. At first I thought it was the moose and her calf, but she's quite a ways away, and I'm thinking, no, this sounds like too close to the camera. She's going to be moving this way, and she's going to head into kind of along that northern tree line where that gravel pit is. Wait till you hear what comes from right behind the trail camera. And I'm saying this is Bigfoot. I'm thinking maybe they don't like the moose. It's just a thought that came through, because whatever this is, growls and grunts very deep and guttural as she's leaving, as the cow and the calf moose are leaving. The majority of the hits that were on the camera a lot of time were triggered by deer and elk. And only once did I capture the moose and her calf, right? The cow moose and her calf. And I'm thinking maybe they don't like the moose back in there. But whatever this is, and why I believe it's Sasquatch, because if it was something like, say, after the moose or a bear or you think it would have came out in front, out of the trees, and maybe followed the moose or made an appearance. But whatever this is, knew enough to stay behind my camera, knew enough to stay back. And as I've mentioned in previous videos, they do not like the trail cams. They stay out from the front of them. And I have had them try to untie. I've captured that in some of my trail cam footage. At 7 Creeks, I had a camera set up there, and they almost managed to get the camera untied and unhooked. And I had that thing sitting, I would say about 6.5 feet up in the trees. So yes, watch that closely. And then we've got some pretty amazing vocals coming up. And again, it's the elk and the deer that are triggering the camera. And most of the, in all of the times that I put my trail camera up, and I set them up in 3 different areas around here, 7 Creeks and 2 spots there and here, all of my Bigfoot vocals that I've been able to capture are during one of these situations where an elk or a deer or a bear or something triggers the camera. I'm picking up vocals off in the distance, right? And I would say 9 out of 10 are early morning hours, anywhere from 5 to 7 in the morning. That's when I'm getting the Bigfoot vocals, right? So that's kind of interesting. That's something to keep in mind. I don't believe at all that they're only nocturnal, right? I hear a lot of people saying that, and a lot of researchers are saying that, they're only active at night. That's not true. From what we've gathered here, what we've witnessed, it's all hours of the day, but there are busier times, right? There are busier times through the day, in the morning, at night, when they move around more, when they're more vocal. The more vocal they are is in the morning hours when the sun is rising. We know that now. And they are around during the day, daylight hours, but they don't move around too much in the daytime, but they do. They're there because I've picked up the vocals, some vocals in the daytime, and wood knocks. We hear them in the north pasture. I hear them south here in the Bigfoot Min Patch in the daytime, in the afternoons, but at night I think it makes sense, right? If they're beings that want to stay hidden under the cover of darkness, would be their best time to be moving around. They're more vocal as the sun is rising, and I think it has to do with the sun. With the native people, morning was very much you greeted the sun. There were songs for the morning. There was morning songs of thanks and prayer to the Creator. Morning is important. It's a new day. It's a new start to a new day. They might be doing the same thing. Morning is very important to them because that's when we hear most of the vocals. But before I get into this highlight video, I just want to do a little shout out to Wayne in Sheffield, UK. I just want to do a little shout out to his son Leighton. He's having a 15th birthday, and hi Leighton, happy birthday. I hope you have a good one. Have a wonderful happy birthday. I'm glad you're here with me on this journey. Good things ahead, right? We have good things ahead of us, and I'm sure will have good things ahead of you. And it's an interesting time to be a teenager. I can't imagine it, because when I was a teenager, it was a different time and it was almost like a different world and a different time. It was a lot more simpler. So you have there's a lot of high-end stresses out there for teenagers right now. And if you ever get stressed, just go to your dad, talk to somebody, right? Anyway, have a happy birthday. Let's get into this video, and I hope you guys enjoy. We're going through 3 days of rain here right now, so I'm doing this in my house, and hopefully in a day or two these rains will stop. We've had a lot of moisture this year, more than we have for many years. It's not a bad thing, because there's been years where we've seen nothing, and it wasn't good for anything. It wasn't good for the creeks or the rivers or the crops, the animals. It was just there was not enough moisture. But now we're getting an overabundance of moisture. But it's patterns, right? It's patterns. All of this rain, pretty much all the forest fires are out. I mentioned this in a couple videos back about they know now that 9 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 of these fires were set. They were set by individuals, pyromaniacs. I think once some of them started, others jumped on board, right? I'm not sure what drives people like that, but they get some kind of a kick out of it. Our Alberta Premier, she's got investigations taking place in the fires that happened in our province of Alberta. But then you have this whole other thing happening, right? You watch our national news and our CBC and global news networks, and of course, they're bringing all these fires up, and it's about global warming and pushing that narrative. They're using the fires, right? And if they were to tell the truth, like I say, 8 out of 10 of these fires were set. These aren't natural disasters, right? These are human-related disasters, right? But of course, they're going to push this narrative, and it's hard to watch because we know what's happening. We know the truth, and we're seeing the truth, and then you hear they'll spin it, right? They'll spin it and twist it to suit a narrative, and it's hard to watch that kind of stuff. So we got to be careful. We got to be careful. Truth has a way of showing itself, and people's true colors end up showing, and then we can make you're able to make it. I'd rather know the truth than be living in a lie, right? Or being led astray based on lies. I'd rather know the truth. We're better people for it. But anyway, I'll stop rambling, and we'll get into this highlight video. First, it'll be Sam and I's trip in and out, the highlights of that, and then we will go into 4 of the trail cam videos that I consider the top 4 out of those 206 hits. Everybody stay safe, take care, and we will see you in the trees. Bye for now. So kind of exciting to go over. It's always exciting to go over that trail cam footage, right? Oh, 206 files.